reactions are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
Damn good coffee and hot.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about Kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with the Dog. You make me laugh.
Well, that's the nastiest remark I've ever heard. What a mess. No, I don't think so. That's all I'm saying is no, I don't think so. I'm just not putting down my coffee club. It's good today. Good. I'm not. That's not the other thing. Oh, good morning, folks. It is Thursday, almost Friday. Thursday, almost Friday. That's what we call it now. It's Thursday, almost Friday. January 11th, 2024. I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are. Willie is not going to be here for the first hour and maybe not here for the second hour. I'm not exactly sure what he's doing, but I hope he's hustling. It's, it's not a bad thing that he is out doing stuff, hopefully earning money or doing something productive to actually move his career forward rather than playing games with me in the morning, wasting his life away like you're doing. Listen, I got no life. My life is, I have a life, but it's I don't have any goals. I got no goals. So, but if you recall, and now I'm not, believe me, this is not a I told you so moment. It is just it's an awareness that the law of attraction bullshit does not work, and you can't rely on magical thinking, especially if you're an adult who needs to take care of themselves and others around them. And if you recall, about a month ago, Willie was ready to borrow $10,000 to give away to prove that he knew for certain he would have $30,000 by really this weekend from Facebook. And I was trying to talk him off the ledge. And his main encourager of bad behavior for his own personal advantage is Mike Zinn, who was sitting in there trying to argue I was being self-defensive because I was trying to talk Willie out of crazy thinking. He was willing to go $10,000 into debt as if somebody is really going to lend him $10,000 on a Facebook whim, and give it all away. Just give it away recklessly. Well, here's the thing. Last night, he published his earnings statement from Facebook for the last month, and it's a little short of $30,000. It's $11.11, which I kind of tried to tell him that that's about the average of everybody who gets involved in the Facebook partnership promotional bullshit scam. I didn't tell him that to put him down or crush his dreams. I told him that so that he wouldn't hurt himself. Now, thank God nobody lent him $10,000 to give away. But it, it just goes to show you what people like Zinn who say, "Yeah, just don't listen to Matt. Just go for it. Just go for it." If he would have went for it, if somebody would have enabled that, he'd be $10,000 in debt. Well, $11 short of $10,000 in debt. So, oh, if you're wondering about the hat, by the way, I'm Tim Pool for the morning. It's a little chilly in here. Head, the head's a little cold. Shaved head gets a little cold. I don't know what it is, but suffice to say, back to the Willie thing and the Facebook scam. If you are getting the message from Facebook to be invited into working for them, which is essentially what you're doing, working for them for uh, basically less than a penny an hour. You're beyond indentured servant. You are at that point a full-on slave. Um, you're going to be getting paid $11 a month for working all day and all night. You would have worked 1 hour at McDonald's, you would make the same thing, maybe even a little more. It's a scam, I tell you, a scam. And we can't be afraid because we're going to hurt somebody's feelings to talk them off that ledge, especially if that person has a history of getting high and low on whims and dreams and things that come as sounds too good to be true. If it sounds too good to be true, it almost always is. So we hope Willie is out actually doing stuff to progress his career today. He has 2 shows this weekend. I support that 100%. As we've said with Bailey Pope, who is also pursuing a similar dream, there is absolutely no shame in keeping a day job to support yourself while you go after your dream. But a full-time, lifetime commitment to Facebook or any other scam that will keep you working day and night for them. Listen, I promise you, Facebook is reeling in cash off these people who believe in this stuff full-heartedly, and they're just laughing all the way to the bank, and they're taking advantage of people. You can't do that to people, but they do that to people, and there's nothing stopping them. There's no and when you can see that coming, you're not being a negative person to say, there are better ways to make $30,000 in a month. There are much better ways. There are proven ways. Listen, most people, we talk about believing in your abilities and all that stuff. Most people sell themselves short as far as what they can do and what they can't do in actual real business circumstances. I'm talking about a job, what you can earn as a salary, and sell themselves short. You can believe in yourself. Believe in yourself enough to make enough money that you can pursue your dreams and support yourself through those dreams. But getting uh, an email that says we're going to make you rich really quick, and you don't really have to work hard for it. All you have to do is send an email, post something, whatever it is. The latest scam is. If I have not seen any of those that have ever worked out for people, and I get probably 1,000 of those emails every day from people who have the next greatest thing. What is it? The zoo. Can't think of the other part of the zoo, but zoo is a marketing situation where people are selling marketing software that will all you have to do is push this one button. It's just $29 for a lifetime license on this software, and you just push this button, and you're guaranteed to make $50,000 in the next 2 months, or $100,000 in the next year, something like that. Get them all the time, every fucking day, hundreds of them, and people are falling for them every single day. And you're not a negative person if you say that's not real. That's not real. Don't fall for it. You're a caring person, I think, in my view. Anyway, we'll move on from that. But uh, and the other part of that, I can't stress this enough. People like Mike Zinn, who encourage that behavior, are not in it because they believe in the law of attraction. Not because at 60 years old, there's no evidence to support that in their view. And beliefs are like tabletops. They have legs of evidence that support them, and without those legs of evidence, the tabletop collapses. And so, if you try things and you have no evidence to support your tabletop, you don't believe. You don't believe. You just want somebody else to share in your misery, or you want them hooked on your build-up, cheerleading, rah 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 nonsense. Yeah, just go for it. Just go for it. Just go for it. Don't worry about the consequences. Just go for it and listen to me because I'm a positive person saying yes, yes, yes. There's always a risk in just blindly following people who just tell you yes, 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 yes. What is their evidence of proof, and is their where is their authenticity coming from? It just doesn't exist. Yesterday on this program, somebody named Rappler32, who I still don't know. I recognize the handle, but I don't know who it is. He mentioned George Carlin had a new special out, and my first thought was that this was something that Carlin had banked but never released, and somebody had the tapes and maybe re-edited it or was ready to actually put it out there, like the Lost Beatles songs or something like that. Well, it turned out it was AI. It's an AI produced, and this is really dangerous. AI manufactured false George Carlin special, done without his family's approval or knowledge. And Kelly Carlin was on Twitter kind of expressing her concern about this, about how, first of all, it's really, really seedy to do without the family's permission and endorsement. But second of all, George Carlin left a body of work that was real, that you can appreciate. There are 14 specials out there that you can find from George Carlin that are the real thing. This person who did this, and it shows off how powerful AI can be, they are doing it for their own personal profit and gain, without including the family and without the family's permission or approval, which is really bad. People are attacking Kelly for bringing this up now. And this is really, somebody called her a whiny little girl who can't accept that daddy's dead. It, just really nasty stuff for just calling out this person who did this AI fake George Carlin special. And I think it's pretty scary. I have not seen it, and I don't want to see it because I don't want to give the guy any more attention on YouTube. If I click on it and watch it, all that does is tell YouTube to show it to more people. But so I don't want to. I don't want to even check it out. Of course, I'm curious to see how good it is. If it's fooling people to think that it's a real archive piece of show business that was just rediscovered or re-released, it must be pretty good. But it's pretty scary to think that we can just dig up dead people and animate them and put words in their mouth. Words that actually match who they are and their personality is a pretty scary thought. And it's if we can do it to dead people, we can do it to live people. So we can't trust any. You can't trust your ears. You can't trust your eyes. Nothing is real anymore. That's a scary place to be. And there's no laws yet in place governing uh, the use of dead celebrities, or there is some with live celebrities. I mean, um, face, whatever that is, face cloning stuff. Um, that there is some abuse, and especially if it's used in like revenge porn type of uh, situations, there are some laws protecting people about that. But it's a really scary time to be looking at what technology can do and can't do. I Kelly had said, if you now this is bad advice, and I tried to tell her this, that if you have a problem with it, you should go comment on the guy's YouTube, uh, the video on YouTube, and give him a piece of mind and tell him you think it's wrong. All that will do is have YouTube push it to more people, and I don't think that's the right way to do it. The best way, unfortunately, it's genie's kind of out of the bottle, but the best way to deal with it is to ignore it. But enough people have already clicked on it. Is Kelly Carlin. My statement regarding the AI generated George Carlin special. My dad spent a lifetime perfecting his craft from his very human life, brain, and imagination. No machine will ever replace his genius. These AI generated products are clever attempts trying to recreate a mind that will never exist again. Let the artist work speak for itself. Humans are so afraid of the void that we can't let what has fallen into it stay there. Here's an idea. How about we give some actual living human comedians a listen to? But if you want to listen to the genius of George Carlin, he has 14 specials out there that you can find anywhere. That's the other part of it, too. Um, kind of really just hidden in there is this idea that comedy, entertainment is already um, a very saturated, very competitive field. And there are enough living people desperate, working hard to try to get attention. And if you're going to give all your attention to trying to keep the dead people alive, dead superstars alive, those people's chance to be of being heard becomes even smaller. And so this AI fake George Carlin is taking away it's taking away opportunity from lots of brilliant people who are working now. It's a very scary time, and I'm not sure what the solution is. Vinny Vanelli will be here at 10:15 today. Vinny is a Canadian comedian who is he's got a special, I believe it's a special out called "Proud to Be Italian," and if you remember, about a month ago, Jim, I can't remember how to spell it, Wistowski, something like that. Wistowski, who is of Italian descent, had a historical fiction novel, The Road to Moresco, about his Italian heritage. And we talked about how Italy really isn't a thing. What we know as Italy has only existed since 1946. The actual nation of Italy came together around 1870, 1871. But before that, it was a bunch of city states. A lot of it is mixed heritage, Greek, Etruscans, Normans, who colonized the land over there. So, what does it really mean to be Italian? We talk about proud to be Italian. What does that actually mean? I think of myself as an Italian. I don't even know what the fuck an Italian is. Thing is, Vinny on this program has made comedy out of showing Canadians and Americans how little they know about their own history and heritage. And I'm going to give him a little of that on Italy when he gets here today, because proud to be Italian is basically begs the question, what does it really mean to be Italian, and how much do you actually know about what it means to be quote unquote Italian? We think of the Roman Empire, a lot of us think of the Roman Empire, but that was a very small part of what they called Italia, close enough to Italy, but was a bunch of city states that were really not one people at all. Speaking of AI, GD is here, and we'll say good morning to him. GD, good morning. Uh, Groucho, or am I Tim Pool to you?
Who's Tim Pool?
You don't know Tim Pool? All right,
No.
good for you. That's all. Yeah, if you don't know
Okay.
who Tim Pool is,
No, I don't know
you're
who.
ahead of the
And I
game.
don't know.
You're ahead of
No,
the
I don't know
game.
who Tim Pool is.
Well, you're
Okay.
better off than most of humanity. Just
Thank you.
consider. You're better off if I don't tell you who Tim Pool is. But he's
Well, in that case, I don't want to know.
just suffice to say that he wears a dopey hat like this, or he's bald. He's in his 30s and he's bald, and he doesn't want people to know he's bald. So he does a show every day with a hat like this, as if people aren't going to figure out that there's no hair under there. It's not to keep
Oh,
you warm.
okay. Okay.
He says it's a disguise so that he doesn't get attacked, because he says outrageous things and people want to kill him. And he says people won't recognize him when he goes out without the hat. So
Okay.
when he does his public performance, he always has the hat on so that people won't recognize him and kill him if they see him
Okay.
out in public. You buy that?
Okay. No.
Yeah. All right.
All
You
right.
watched the Republican thing last night, didn't you?
Oh, no, no. I went out last night.
Ah.
I went out. I went out last night. A friend of mine was in town recording. Well, actually, he's recording his comedy special on Friday, and last night he was doing a version of it in Baltimore. So I went to go see him and support him.
Ah. Okay. So, were you hip to any of the stuff that went down yesterday in the news, or the
Kind
politisphere?
of. I'm aware that Trump wants the economy to crash so that the people that support him will have less money and be more bitchy.
Oh,
And
that was from several days ago. That was from, I think, Saturday night when he said that.
okay, then I'm aware that Jamie Raskin of Maryland, that um, the hearing where Hunter Biden just showed up
Yeah,
and Marjorie Taylor Greene wanted to show some pictures. And he said he objected, saying that she was going to show porn. And she goes, "No, this isn't pornographic." And he says, "Well, you'd be the expert."
right.
I thought that was hilarious. I laughed out loud when he said that.
Is Raskin your guy? Is he your district's rep?
He's one of our peoples. But he's not my congressman. My congressman is Ruppersberger. Dutch
Uh,
Ruppersberger.
Um,
It's a mouthful. I have to see it every time. I guess I've been saying his name for years, and I still have to see it to say it.
ah, well, Trump was in a town hall on Fox last night,
Right,
and he admitted to breaking the emoluments clause. He basically said, because the report came out that he got $8 million from foreign governments, and he says,
right,
"Well, it wasn't like I got it for doing nothing. I performed a service," and not saying what the service was, but still admitting to breaking the law on national TV. And basically, nobody wanted to hold his feet to the fire on that, of course. Uh, and so, it's the idea that they want to hold Biden, and if Biden did this, I'm all for holding Biden responsible if in fact they can prove that he took money from foreign governments while vice president. But they
right,
don't want to hold Trump responsible for the same thing. They're willing to reelect him, even though he admits that very same crime. It's
right,
We live in a world that is just so fucking bizarre, and so, like, you talk about Trump derangement syndrome. The only people that have Trump derangement syndrome are the people who still fucking hold this guy up as some kind of savior or whatever. Because it just every fucking day. But here's the thing that I got to last night. I've been very impatient with him facing any kind of justice at all.
Right. Yeah.
Ever in his life. It just seems like he talks about immunity. He's always had immunity as far as I'm concerned. He's been breaking the law for 50 years in broad daylight and never held accountable to it. But it's very
And when he
apparent.
is held accountable, it's usually civil suits, and there's usually documents are sealed so that most people don't get to find out what a crook he is, because people sign NDAs and go like, okay, yeah, you ripped me off as your with your fake college, and we won't talk about it again. Or you ripped me
Right.
off with your fake this, and we won't talk about it again. And so he comes off as being this great businessman when actually he is a grifter, and it's just not how it just the steps are taken to make it so that it's not public knowledge. Legal steps, but still steps
Right. But now you say he's been held accountable in the civil stuff.
for the most part. No,
Being held accountable in civil stuff is a fine or a judgment. And the thing is,
right.
they never pay it anyway. So the amount never matters. It could be 5 million, it could be 370 million. None of these guys, and it's not just Trump, none of these guys who get sued for big judgments ever end up paying any of them. I mean, Rudy Giuliani is the same thing. He got a big slap with a big judgment. Nobody sees a dime. Alex Jones with the Sandy Hook stuff just declared bankruptcy and not paying it. Nothing happens to them. And Alex Jones is still doing his show.
Yeah,
It's like if you or me did that, there would be a lien on our house. You don't go to
yeah.
tax prison or judgment prison, but they will come. The sheriff will be at your door harassing you. They will garnish all income, that kind of stuff. Doesn't happen to these fat cats.
They come to my house, they take my cat, because that's the most, well, because they can't take my wife, that would be slavery, and I don't own her, but my cat is like the most valuable thing I own. So they come for me, they're gonna come for my cat, and I have to tell them, you take my cat from my cold dead hands. You're not taking my cat. You know what I'm
Not going to take your cat. All right.
saying? No,
You'll fight to the death for that cat.
I have to,
All right.
because yeah.
But so
The cat, look, the cat didn't ask to come here. She was starving in the woods. We took her in, and we gave her a kingdom to rule over. We can't just take it away from her.
right. But now the point I was making about Trump and my own impatience with seeing him brought to justice. If you follow him on Twitter, and I know most people don't, he's on Twitter, but he's not on Twitter. He's on Truth Social and people are reposting his stuff to Twitter. The guy gets up at 2:00 in the morning, and his first thing is an irrational, angry tweet about how he deserves immunity for everything, and all presidents should have immunity for everything, which is kind of silly because that's basically saying Biden could have him killed and not be held accountable for it, according to Trump's
And
own
he should.
argument.
I'll call Biden. I have him on speed dial.
He's not
Biden texts me every day asking for money, and the
uh,
thing is, he knows I don't have that much to spare. I don't know why they keep asking every day. I'm not going
right,
to send money every day. When I send money, it'll be like in November, October for the final push. I can't
right.
send money today, and then I have something that's really even more important than that. Mind dog coffee. When you
That's
need
not
to be awake at 2:00 in the morning to tweet bullshit to your friends, mind dog coffee.
right. But so getting back to my dog coffee, by the way, is going out of business. Don't make me drink all this coffee myself. We have a big going out of business sale. Prices remain the same to pass on our lack of savings to you, the customer. But I don't want to have a closet full of product. So help me out here and just buy
I
some.
understand. When I did my band when I did my CD back in the '90s, I had like 1,000 copies pressed, and I still have like I think 540 copies in the
Make great
basement.
coasters, by the way.
I,
Coasters.
yeah,
What
that's what I tell people. I said,
you
you don't have
could
to
use
listen to
them
what my
on the
mother did.
Christmas tree, like as ornaments, because they are kind of shiny, and if you hang them there, that's another use for them. So you'll
Yeah,
find uses
yeah.
for it.
Yeah, I
Coffee
tell people,
bags, you're
look,
not gonna.
just take one. Just take one. You don't have to listen to it because my mother didn't. I gave
Yes.
when I gave my mother a copy and I asked her how she liked it, and she goes, "Well, of course I liked it."
Well, getting
And
sidetracked
she
here.
never listened to it. Yeah.
If you give somebody a CD or a product, a piece of art, they never use it. Like if you give them a painting that you did, or if you give, they won't hang it. If you give them a CD that you created, they won't listen to it. If they paid $1 for it, they'll listen to it.
Well,
It's that.
it was just my mother. I wasn't going to charge her, but
No, I mean just
and
in
it's just
general, just
oh
in
yeah.
general.
So,
Anybody,
so
you give them a CD, they're not going.
after she died, when going through her effects, and I find my CD unopened, and
No,
friends of mine go like, "Well,
you
it's
couldn't even
valuable, right?
open it.
Right." Uh, they couldn't even
All
open
right.
it, put your thumbprint on it, so it looks like you listened to
Right. I can't. I still have not finished the point about Trump
it.
because I have been impatient with him facing justice. But it occurred to me last night that this is the ultimate justice, and because he lives his life, he tweets like 80 tweets a day in a rage. It's always
Yeah,
it's consuming him, and the descent into madness is evident if you watch it and really paying attention. He's fucking going crazy. He's losing his mind. And so even as long as it's taken and all that, whatever the process is, if he's gonna lose his mind completely and just be consumed with paranoia and fear, that's the ultimate justice. And it would not be justice without that. So I have to take solace in the fact that he is becoming Captain Queeg. He's with the ball bearings and the strawberries and the pilfering. Uh, uh, and it's just a beautiful thing to watch if you can drop your God, why can't these fucking people just lock him up kind of fucking nonsense. That may or may not ever happen, but it doesn't matter because he's drooling all over himself. He's wetting his fucking dirty diaper. He's getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning to rage tweet and then constantly rage tweeting all day. It's consuming him, and so that part of my consolation prize. I've learned to accept that that's the real justice in this. The fact that he's fucking losing his mind over it. Um, so I just wanted to put that out there, like, because it can drive you crazy saying, if that were me, I'd have faced the firing squad already.
yeah, yeah. I say things like that a lot. I say if that were me, or if that was me or you,
Right,
we wouldn't be getting the same. And the funny thing is, you hear on the news, you'll hear the prosecutors saying things like, "No, he's the same as everybody else," but they don't treat him the same as everybody else.
right.
The fact that he's running for president doesn't mean a damn thing. I'm sorry, because almost anyone can run for president if you
Yeah.
have the qualification, if you meet the standards.
Well, he
So
also made a joke
so
about people dying of COVID, and the entire audience laughed at that. And
yeah.
then Megan Kelly said how funny that was this morning on Twitter. It's like, really? If you knew somebody who died of COVID, you wouldn't really be thinking that was a funny joke. Ha ha ha. Not
Now I
funny,
didn't
ha
hear
ha.
the joke. I didn't hear the jokes. I don't know I couldn't rate it as a joke. But
Yeah,
even
I
if I
don't.
did rate it, I don't know anything about comedy anyway.
That's
So
true.
who would
Yeah,
trust
that's
my
been well
judgment?
documented. Now,
Yeah.
what do you think about this
Oh,
Collins
will
stuff?
documented. It's will documented
Well
and well
documented.
documented.
What do you think about the Collins stuff?
Well, aside
First
from
of
the
all, did you
fact that
know yesterday when he said, because when Rappler said about the new Collins special that dropped on YouTube, I was thinking it was something that was already in the can from before he died. Somebody rediscovered it and put it on YouTube. I did not know it was AI. Did you know that?
I did not know it was AI. I saw the thing on YouTube. I saw the blurb, but I didn't want to click on it because I just had my suspicions. I figured that I have enough friends in comedy that if something like that really did happen, I'd have heard about it other ways other than just a blurb on YouTube or
Right.
Facebook or wherever I saw it.
There was no
So I
pre-buzz,
ignored
no
it.
Yeah, no, because if there truly was something like that, we found there was a special that he didn't release, that it was supposed to be out on HBO on September 12th, 2001. But in it, he was talking about he actually was rooting for the end of the world and stuff like that. And then when they reviewed it on 9/11 the day before, they said maybe we'll hold up on releasing this, and they never released that special. So that's still out there. But if they were going to do something like that, there would be a marketing buzz put out about it, and
Right. And I would
I
think the
was surprised.
family would, I would think the family and the estate would be behind it.
Right. Do
If
you
there was something legit.
do you think I'm off base with my criticisms of how bad this is? Because they didn't even ask the family at all for their permission or any of that kind of stuff, and they're making money without even cutting the family in, which is a whole other part of it. But what are your thoughts there? Am I wrong? Am I right? Am I?
No, I see. I don't want to sound like a lackey whose job depends on me answering and agreeing with you, but I
No,
agree
you
with you.
yeah.
You
Right.
know,
No,
I don't want to sound
actually,
like a
I prefer you be honest. If you disagree, let me know where I'm wrong
no,
and
no. I
other
don't
points to
think you're.
consider.
I don't think you're being tough enough. I think there should be some kind of litigious, some kind of because I'm wondering if the estate can sue for inappropriate for stealing his likeness,
Right,
and using it inappropriately, market monetizing it. I don't know.
right,
I would like to think that the estate has attorneys looking into it right now, and they're just
and
waiting to see how much money he's going to make, so they know how much to sue him for.
yeah, I don't know if they can sue him because technically, I don't think there's anything illegal about it yet. Yet, I don't think they've passed any laws uh, with any kind of
Well,
guidance
using his
on.
name, they're using his name and like even I think even if they had just used his likeness and didn't put his name on it and it was all original material that AI had thought up, maybe they'd have a leg to stand on. But to say that this is a George Carlin thing, that's misrepresentation. That's um some kind of lying. I'm not sure what the legal type of lying. I don't know if it's
I
libel or if it's
No, I get what you're saying, but I think because he's dead, the estate
that's what
doesn't.
the estate would do, right? The
They
estate
don't
has
own his
attorneys,
likeness. I don't know. I
but
don't
they'd
know
own his
about this.
name.
I'm not a lawyer, of course, but I don't think.
See, I thought once you put the hat on, you became a lawyer.
No, this hat is for doofus podcast people. That it's close to being a lawyer, but it's doofus podcast people, which is
Do you have a
me.
lawyer hat
It's the
that you can
same
put
as
on?
being a lawyer, except you don't ever go to law school and you don't ever have to pass the bar. So
Oh, okay. And some people can't pass the bar; they just sit and drink all day long,
right. But
and
here's the thing,
like
especially
Rudy
when it comes to
Giuliani.
Colin, right? Because
Yeah.
and rightly or wrongly, and I think wrongly, uh, people put a lot of weight into what George Carlin says. He's like a prophet to some people. Oh, if Carlin said it, it must be true, even if he's fucking just joking about it. They take quotes from him and build their ideology around him, even though he was mostly a progressive and mostly a left guy. You will see conservatives taking quotes from him that seem to fit their agenda and molding that into it. Now they're taking
Right.
clips from this thing where he's talking about the Israeli Arab conflict, and there are going to be people who base their politics or oh, look, Carlin said it, it must be true. And there's a clip where he's saying Israeli fighters are called commandos, Arab fighters are called terrorists, and all this stuff. And people are going to be using that to justify their political ends. And because Colin has this reverence about him that he could never have been wrong about anything, or he could have never really been joking about anything. Everything he said was like the Bible. Like you have to take it at it.
Yeah. It's bad enough that we have historical figures with faces, with people with their faces are out there, and they're being attributed quotes that they never said, you know, and people are passing it on like they said it, you know.
Yeah. It's a really kind of scary and dangerous place to be right now because as I mentioned yesterday or the day before, maybe it was yesterday, maybe it was the day before, we used to be able to use videotape and audio tape in a court of law, and I know they have to be authenticated and all that stuff, but things can be uh, done so well that even the best authenticators can be fooled by it now. Again, I haven't seen this Carlin thing, and I'm very curious to see how good it is, how real it looks. But I don't
Right.
want to give the guy the attention by clicking on it. So
Right.
it
Yeah, and you know, man, I like to do deep dives into things, but again, I'm not going to give him the satisfaction of getting one damn click from my finger. Not one damn
are you
click.
curious though to see it?
Only from an art form, only in the sense that I want to see how good it was done. But I don't. But I'm not curious enough or care enough to violate my principles to do it. You know,
Right,
it's like as much like Kiss did their last concert and they're going to do another concert, but they're going to do it AI.
right.
Whitney Houston, they did a concert with her doing AI. Michael Jackson, they did like hologram, a concert with him using holograms. I don't care, enough to
The
be interested
really
in that.
surprising thing to me is that they can do an hour, like because there are AI stuff, but generally AI takes a lot of computing power to do 1 minute or a 30-second clip. To do a full hour and make it look continuous, like he's walking around stage, and make it look natural and make it look like something real. And this is why I'm really curious to see how real it looks. Um, it seems like you would have to the investment in computing power and all that kind of stuff would be enough that you're not going to make money no matter how many views you get on YouTube. I mean, I don't know, man.
Maybe the AI part is just his face and head and dialogue. Like in other words, they using actual archive footage
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they're just superimposing the AI. Just the lips, just the lips, just the lips and voice.
That's if any, I guess the best way is to get some reviews from people who have actually already clicked on it and watched the thing about exactly how real it look. If Rappler 32 was there, I would love to get his because apparently he's watched it. His opinion of did you actually think like I would have thought that it was something that was taped right before he died or briefly before he died and was in the can and sitting there and really released, or was it pretty apparent? It's really hard to tell these days what's fake and what's real. I mean, they got these voice changers now, where I could basically buy an app that I would talk, and you would think I was a master impressionist doing like all these voices, and you would think they were real, like those voices coming out of my mouth, and they're really
Right.
convincing. So that's
Yeah.
what I'm curious to see. How real does it look? And I guess the only way to do that without clicking on it is to take the word of people who have actually seen it. Um, so Rappler, if you're there, give us a full review if you've seen the fucking thing. Let's play a commercial. How about that? This is a
Okay, that
commercial.
sounds good. Yeah, that sounds
Kelly's
good.
going to be the official tester. She doesn't know it yet, but she's going to be an official tester. She hasn't gotten the official word of the product. But again, official tester does not mean you can order whatever you want to test out. Most of their products have been tested. It's for new products that they are releasing, and they want to get reviews before they actually. Now, what new stuff they might come up with? That's a mystery. Like it seems like they got every hole covered.
Actually, what's popular right now? My understanding, what's popular now is uh, what is it? The fantasy porn, like it's like werewolves and vampires and that kind of stuff. I don't know the technical term. It actually has a term that the people that are into that use.
It's not the
It's
cosplay
like,
stuff.
but it's erotica. It's erotic books, but it's werewolves, vampires, shapeshifters, stuff like that.
So like
So maybe,
a werewolf dildo, like a hairy.
yeah, like a Wookiee, Wookiee cock, um, uh, Yoda, a Yoda fleshlight for those who are so inclined. stuff
I've
like
heard
that.
that
I
term fleshlight.
yeah,
Fleshlight. Uh,
yeah.
I- w- I'm still not familiar with exactly what it means.
It's supposed to sound like a flashlight because it's about the size of a flashlight, but the flesh part is it's supposed to feel like a human vagina.
Vagina.
Yeah, yeah.
Nothing
It's
could be
supposed to feel
finer.
like that.
Nothing could be finer than to see you in vagina in the morning or something.
That's yeah. As a matter of fact, I think that's their slogan.
Let's listen to Mr. Geronimo tell us about what they got now. Fuck yeah. Yeah. Or
Hey there, I'm Mr. Geronimo, product manager for Tracy's Dog. What is Tracy's Dog? Well, for 50 bucks, we send you a high quality sex toy right to your door. Yeah, 50 bucks. Are our toys any good? No. They're f***ing amazing. Yeehaw! Each toy is made with body safe silicone. We are constantly evolving and innovating our product line. They are built for one thing, to shake your world with orgasms you ain't never seen before. Do you like spending $100 for your sex toy? 80 of it goes to retail. What about bumping into your family while at the sex toy shop?
Good taste.
Get the pleasure you deserve without broadcasting your secrets. And think of all the money we're going to be saving you.
just want to say that all the money they're going to be saving you is exactly the same amount of money I'm going to be saving you if you buy Mind Dog coffee today. You're going to be spending $50 on a sex toy. You're not saving that $50. You're spending that $50. I mean, you will
Yeah.
get a sex toy out of it. Now,
Now,
let
I
me
was
just
just
ask.
thinking.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I
Another
was
thing,
thinking.
I was watching the I was watching the
We're doing the wolf
commercial,
thing.
and the thing is, he walks by and he goes bumping into your family in the store, and there's a guy standing there holding the box, and he looks at Geronimo and says, "Good taste," or something like that.
Good
The
taste,
thing
right?
is, why would he be saying it? He's the one holding it. It'd be different if Geronimo was holding the product, walked by, and he goes, "Ah, good taste,"
Well,
but he's
was the
already
product
holding it.
edible and edible undies? Because if it was edible undies, he might be saying, like, Starkiss wants tunas that taste good, not tunas with good taste, or something like that. You know what I mean? Maybe he was talking about the
Yeah.
edible undies taste, good taste. It's a
Well,
good
the
taste.
box was unmarked, so we will. It's Schrodinger's sex toy. We don't
But he
know.
he says you're going to spend $100 on a sex toy. I don't know what the going rate on a dildo is, but that seems kind of expensive. I mean, really, all a dildo is a piece of silicon, body safe silicon. Is that what he called it? It's just a a dick shaped piece of plastic. Really, does that is that $100 generally?
I guess it depends if it's the name brand or if it's a knockoff.
So there's designer, like Calvin Klein.
Well, I was thinking
Dildo.
more like Johnny Holmes or if
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know
it's
how
like a cast, if it's an actual cast, then because he'd have to get his cut, so to speak.
yeah.
Um,
$100 is cheap for all the pleasure it will bring. Now, how do you know that?
is he talking about the coffee?
Yeah, he's talking. Well, $100 is expensive because you can actually get a pound of Mind Dog coffee starting at $14.99. I believe that's the lowest price we have on all coffee per pound. 14, but you can get a 2-pound bag at a savings on that. It's less the more you buy. And again, we are having a big going out of business sale, which basically the word sale means we're just selling it to you at the regular price, because I don't want a fucking closet full of coffee that will go stale by the time I get to the last bag. So help me out. I made a
Yeah, yeah.
mistake. We all make mistakes in life. But so we got about 2 weeks left until I have to pull the plug and then basically eat all the coffee grinds myself. I'll be sitting here eating coffee grinds as
Wow.
nutrition. Not
Oh,
really.
giving them out at your shows.
Yeah.
You know, selling them at your shows uh, with the rockin' 45s.
His mustache is dyed with black tar. No, I think we discussed this yesterday. Didn't we discuss this yesterday? It is just for men. Real black, African black is what they call it on the box, I believe it.
Does
I'm
it now?
African Groucho.
Did it come with like a spear or something? African black? I mean, because there's also Wesley Snipes black, which is a little bit darker, I think.
Well, there's Ethiopian black. There's a Ethiopian black, which is not the same. And Ethiopia is in Africa. Let's be clear about that.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah.
But there's Ethiopian black is different than African black for some reason. It doesn't look any different on the picture on the cover of the box.
And
It's
you could probably there's probably a difference. It's like one of them is probably it's funny because colors there is a national standard for colors, a national code for colors. So each color has its own
they saying it's basically
number.
blackface, but it's not. It's really black lip. It's not black
So
face. It's black
it's
lip.
not the whole face. So you can get away with it. Yeah, you
Right.
can get away with it at parties. It won't. It shouldn't come back to bite you once you're a congressman.
Well, I was thinking about. I'm not going to be a congressman, by the way. The special
You
election
have
is.
to no. You have to think positive. You have to think positive. That's that defeatist attitude that will keep you out of Congress. You have to think positive. Don't be saying I'm not going to be a congressman because guess what will happen? You won't be a congressman. You
You're
have to
right.
stop that defeatist attitude.
You're right, but it is kind of like the lottery, and you have to be in it to win it. And the special election is in 4 weeks, and I'm not in it. I'm still on the schedule to be in the one in November, November 5th of 2024. But we're having a special election to replace George Santos in 4 weeks,
Temporarily, yeah.
and I'm not on that ballot, so I can't.
And I
I won't
think
be.
that we need to be so positive that we get your nameplate and we just walk into Washington and go and take your office. Just
You
go ahead
know,
and occupy your office.
you can just write my name on the ballot. You can do a write-in if you're so inclined. If you're in the district and you don't like any of the dipshits they have on the ballot, you could just write my name in there. If that
But they
works.
have to write it a certain way. They can't write "mind dog." If they write
No.
"mind dog," then they
They
it
have to
won't
write
count.
black lip Matt Napo.
Right. So that white lip Matt Napo doesn't get the vote.
No,
It's got to be black lip.
mole lip won't do it. But I was thinking about Groucho because in the beginning, Groucho just used grease paint. He didn't even have a mustache. He just grease
Right.
paint. And why did he do that? Because I could see if he was the one playing the Italian, like it would make more sense for Chico to do the grease
Chico.
paint
Not that
to
I'm
fake
correcting you, but it's Chico.
Chico. But it would make more sense for him since he was doing the Italian to do the fake mustache or the what we call Italian. It could have been Greek or Etruscan or Norman. Norman. Not because there really are no. Are you Italian? I don't. You're Italian.
Me, I'm Hasidic
Yeah. All right. But
or
so,
acidic, or maybe it's acidic. What am I? I'm taking the Tums for something. It could be acidic.
you're the resident expert on Groucho, right? Why did he do the grease paint mustache? That's the
I
question.
used to know, and I mean, it obviously goes back to the Broadway days, but I don't remember why he did it anymore.
Yeah. Why
Um,
don't we Google that? Why did Groucho use grease paint mustache?
it's probably in my book is downstairs. I have the book that airs. It's called the Groucho File.
Huh.
Um,
Why did
I,
Groucho use a fake mustache? Here's the real reason behind Groucho Marx. Oh, it's a YouTube video. I won't watch that. Whoa. I can't read that. That's
too
really
small or too filthy?
it's a bit anti-Semitic, or it's a bit anti-Semitic. I don't know what's
Okay,
one of the most famous comedic disguises in the world consists of a pair of it's talking about the Groucho mask that people put on.
right.
But it says it looks almost like a stereotype of a Jew. Groucho Marx glasses, Jew face. I don't know. I don't stereotypical of a Jew. Mustaches? I don't think so.
You know,
Especially
what happened? I think. See, sometimes what happens is that, and that's something that's iconic. Um, it gets attached to other things that it wasn't intended to be. You understand what I'm saying? Like Lon Chaney and Burgess Meredith when they did Of Mice and Men. They didn't set out to be the iconic, voices for that kind of partner, smart, team. But after all, that's what it became associated with. It was so popular that it became that.
it would
And
seem
maybe,
opposite though with the Groucho stuff that because they were Jewish, they were heavily Jewish, and there was a lot of
right.
anti-Semitism at the time. It was, late 1800s when they were born, right up to the early 1900s when they were doing Broadway and that kind of stuff. That um, they probably you wouldn't want to point out. You would not go an extra mile just to let people know that you were Jewish. They were Jewish enough without having to do that. I don't know.
I,
Uh,
I, I don't know. I mean, obviously, to me, I mean, it goes back to their vaudeville days. But
yeah. Well,
call the guy, the guy that you talked to before.
Steve Stolier.
Yes, yeah, call him. You have him on speed dial.
I don't have him on speed dial. No, I don't even have him on speed email. Is on slow email. Fake mustache. Eh, the fake. By the way, my mustache is absolutely real. It's just it will turn white as can be if I let it. Um,
Kind of like mine.
no whiter than that. I'm whiter
Oh,
than you.
okay.
I don't know if you noticed. I'm whiter
It's
than
not
you.
a competition, okay? It's not like the one who's whitest wins. That's not. It's not a competition.
I didn't say
No,
it was better. I said it was whiter. That's,
no. I'm just saying it's not a competition. It's not.
the use of false facial hair dates back to antiquity. In ancient Egypt, most men wore clean shaven, real facial hair being a signifier of low social status. So, what this means is I'm a bum. Having a low social. Pharaohs, however, often.
Because you can't afford a razor and a barber.
Yeah. Pharaohs often, however, wore elaborate false metal beards, linking them with Orisis. I did not know of the god of the afterlife. So a metal beard. That's got to be. I don't know. That's a burden on your jaw and all that kind of stuff. Like, and could lead to how when you cheap metal will leave like
Yeah,
weird
especially if
things on
it's
your skin.
green. Yeah, some kind of copper. Well, I'm sure being like a pharaoh, he probably had the good stuff like gold, silver.
Right. Have you
Um,
ever considered just for men with your beard and mustache?
no,
Why
even
not?
if I wanted to consider it, I'm not allowed to consider it.
Clyde would say his beard is weird. What the Keith Hernandez and Clyde Frazier commercials for Just for Men. What's happening? His beard is weird. Uh,
I don't know. No,
you don't know Clyde. By the way,
no.
the Knicks are and now because you mentioned yesterday what a jinx I am with the putting the first I put the guy kibosh on the Jets and then I put the kibosh on the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, which is why I'm glad you're not rooting for my comedy career.
Well, but I am rooting for the Baltimore Ravens, so yes, they're
Stop it!
kibosh,
Stop it! Yeah,
kibosh.
stop it!
But people are getting really excited by the New York Knicks. I think the Knicks are up there with the franchises that have gone the longest without winning a championship. I remember 1969-70, Willis Reed hobbling off to win the. I think that's the last time the Knicks have won the championship. So that would be 55 years ago. That's a pretty long time to go without. I don't know what the longest in major sports right now, the longest drought without, but I got to think that's in the top 4 or 5 or at least top 4 or 5 in the NBA. Maybe not in all sports, but that's probably up there. But people are getting excited about the Knicks because they have been playing good ball until now. I'm just mentioning it, which will put a kibosh on that. So proud to do what I can to bring people
I'm
back to
wondering about
reality.
if you when the Utah Jazz, if they ever won one. I mean,
If
I
they
know when
ever,
Malone was around,
yeah, Malone, right? Didn't they?
because they went up because the last chance I know of when they were really good was when they went up against the Bulls, and
Doubles.
Jordan them handed them their ass on a.
Yeah, the Knicks, oddly enough, their last real run at a championship came while OJ was doing the white Bronco ride. They were Jordan had gone into baseball, and it was Patrick Ewing's Knicks, and it was Scottie Pippen's Bulls now because Jordan had left the Bulls. And they were no, it was Akeem Olajuwon,
That's
Houston
Houston Rockets.
Rockets, right? Knicks against the Rockets in the finals the night that OJ did the Bronco ride, and the Knicks were ahead when the Bronco ride started, but losing by the time NBC cut away from that. So that was the last time the Knicks were legitimately a contender as far as I remember. Maybe they had some run during the Sprewell years. I don't know about that. I don't remember that. But that's when I stopped watching during the Sprewell years because Jimmy Dolan was just an obnoxious dick and coming down and starting fights with his own players and all that kind of stuff. I don't even know if Dolan still owns the Knicks. If he does, that's a reason for me to root against him.
Um, it looks here that according to the Google machine, the NBA Finals, Utah Jazz made it to the finals two times, 97 and 98, which we can safely assume that the Bulls won both of those years,
Right, they
right?
made it to the finals. If they won, they would say that they were champions.
Right,
Wow.
right. So it says they made it to the finals twice. So it may be that they've never had a championship
How
ring.
long have
I don't
they
know when they.
existed though? Because
That's
weren't they an
that's
ABA
my next.
team?
That's what I'm checking now. That's uh Utah Jazz. Uh, let's see.
Anybody in the chat room know about the history of basketball? Can we have any basketball fans in the audience? Basketball. I'm saying
Okay.
basketball like big dogs. If you know
1974.
1974. So that would be after the Knicks championship. So it's not as long. How about that? How about that?
Yeah,
What if we just Googled who was the last, who's got the longest drought in the NBA?
but that wouldn't be any fun. That would like
Longest NBA.
longest NBA longest drought in the NBA without championship. Or,
How about the Nets? Did the Nets win a championship?
I can't imagine.
Sacramento
Did,
Kings, 72 seasons, last title 1950 to 51.
wow.
Wow. That's what I say too. Wow. I didn't even know the Sacramento Kings were a thing in the 50s, in 1950 to 51. Wow. That is a long time. uh 85 years, 80, yeah, 84 years. Yeah,
Man,
1950. Do you know Big Dawes?
do I know who does?
Big Dawes. Big
I like
Dog.
big dolls. I like big dolls, and I cannot lie.
No, not Big Dog. Big Dawes. Let me see if I do. Wow. You're familiar with all these kind. I don't know if Big Dawes is still doing his thing, but it was like one of the YouTube guys. You're familiar with Tyrone? I'm gonna fuck your woman long dick style. Get that cigarette out of
I've
your
heard
mouth.
that. I've
I'm a
heard that. I have heard that. Now I don't know much more beyond that.
Uh, Tyrone was a guy out of Philadelphia, very muscular black guy, walking
Okay.
around, and he'd just walk up to people. You see him smoking, smack a cigarette out of his mouth. Get that cigarette out of your mouth, and people would look at him like, and they would see how big he was, and some of them would kind of back off, but some of them would want to fight him. But then his next line would be, "I'm gonna fuck your woman, long dick style." and
Right.
sometimes it would end up in a fight, and sometimes it wouldn't. But Dawes was around the time that guy was Big Dawes. Let me see if I could share something. Big Dawes is a white guy who is a basketball player who where is he? Can't find him now. Is he not Big Dawes TV? But he would act like a nerd, put on like a really nerdy disguise, and go up to and challenge street ball players, and basically just be like fucking lights out from a. He could shoot not just 3-pointers, like 9-pointers. He would shoot like across, the entire court, and just like money. And it would switch everything he shot, and nobody could guard him. And he was just like he looked like he should have been going one-on-one with Michael Jordan, and would probably put up a good contest with Michael Jordan. But people were always taking him for just we hit 10 million subscribers. Okay, so that's Big Dawes TV. If I can find some of his videos here, just share one of them. Big Dawes TV. Come on. Oh yeah. All right. Let me see if I can share this. This might take a second. Sorry, folks. I wasn't prepared to do this, so I'm a little slow here.
Okay. Try a different hat. See if that makes a difference.
I'm going to take the hat off soon because it's getting kind of hot in here now. It was cold when I first
I'm gonna
started.
take off all my hat. It's getting hot in here.
I'm just like Tim Pool, or I'm Tim Pool's brother Seth. Let's see. Okay, now share, present, share screen. I got also share tab with audio. Okay, Big Dawes TV. Share.
I can do it all.
Yeah, let's do this.
Hi, I'm Ernie. I've just started playing. It's okay if I play with you guys?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, sure.
Yeah? And one. Let's go, game time.
Nice.
The footwork. You guys ready to lose?
No.
Yeah? Because you know what's going to happen? No one comes to my court and beats me.
Hold it.
And I lost my glasses. Come on, let's go. That should do the trick.
You ain't ready?
I can do it all. I can do it all. And you can't defend shit. Right here.
Bring it in. It's right there.
You keep making mistakes.
Come on.
Oh, really?
You want to drive?
You want me to do this again? I don't want to embarrass you in front of everyone every time. But sometimes.
I got this man, bro. This is my guy.
Yeah?
No.
I'm your guy? Really? Whoo!
Watch out.
Give me that. Bank is open. Whew. My glasses almost fell. Uh-oh. I thought you were going to guard me. Woo-hoo. Took him to school. I'll give that to you.
You won't shoot it.
Oh, yeah? I'll shoot it. Oh, psych. Oh, give me that, okay? Give me that. Oh, I bet you won't shoot it. Ah, get off me, man. Come on. Get dunked on. Get out of here.
All right, I think
Somebody
that's
call the
about
SWAT
enough.
team.
You get the point.
Yeah.
Anyway, the mystery to me is how that guy can continue to, because he did that like every day, basically. How he could do that and in Venice Beach and people not be hip to it. Oh, here he comes. Like every day they would seem to fall for it. He'd find a different bunch of people and just make fun of him about and how good he is. And how could he be that good and not end up like seriously in at least a college program or being scouted by the NBA or people not know? You can't be that good and not get some attention. I mean, the guy never missed from
Well,
anywhere in the
in the
culture.
highlights, he never. I mean, I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying that he wasn't good, but also maybe he plays differently in the streets. But you put him under pressure, like on a real court, he might clam up a little bit.
Yeah,
And I'm not. I'm just saying. I'm just saying it because when I used to play ball during practice, I was like one of the best shooters on the team. As soon as the official game clock hit, my butt cheeks got tight, and my ball would find the back of the rim every single time.
yeah,
Well,
but
almost every single time.
were you talking shit the whole time? Like knowing he seemed like there's a couple where some of the clips are really funny. He's like, I can't even break a sweat doing this, and basically, it's like this isn't even exercise. Like talking shit and then being able to back it up doesn't necessarily go with that in the real game. Clams up kind of thing. This is a guy who got like supreme confidence and he always knows that he's got it. It's basically never misses. It's like money. He would just throw something up and not even look and say money.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I don't because I didn't guard him. I don't know. I'm just saying. You was asking about why he wouldn't be picked up. So that's just a possibility.
Not
That's
necessarily even picked up, just scouted or part of a college program. People would know, like, oh, this is the guy.
yeah.
He played for USC. Maybe he didn't make the cut, never got drafted by the NBA, but people would know, you know. I know there were a lot of those guys that got a reputation, and to be able to go every day with a video crew or some guy with a phone, probably one guy with a phone, but and be able to tape this kind of nonsense every single day. It was really, why wouldn't they see it coming? It was basically the same beaches in California, same courts in Venice
Yeah.
Beach. Sooner or later, you would think people would wise up to it, get hip to it. Got
It's
10
funny
million
because
subscribers.
when we used to play pickup balls in the street, if somebody walked on the court, um, and I played with a bunch of arrogant ball players. All of them thought they should have been NBA. Every last one of them thought they should have been in the NBA and couldn't understand why they weren't. So they were pretty decent ball players. But if you walked on the court, my assumption is if you watched us play and you came on the court and wanted to play with us, then you were good. No matter how you came off like dopey, droopy, sleepy, no matter what dwarf you were pretending to be. And I treated you with the utmost. I guarded you like you were an all-star. You know,
I just started
I
playing
just
this. Can I
assumed.
play with you guys? Can I play with you guys?
Yep. And I would guard you as if you came on like if somebody said that's Michael Jordan, I would guard you the exact same way. I gave you the same. You're gonna have to show me that you're an idiot, that you
I
can't
think
play.
those guys were really legitimately trying to guard him, but most of them
I
didn't
don't
seem.
think so. That one guy yelling. Let's put it this way. I would have guarded him better then because I'm watching like his fadeaway. They were jumping while he was still doing his fadeaway. No, you take one more step toward him and you jump straight up. You don't jump in because when you jump in, you're decreasing the amount of space that you cover. You're decreasing your amount of height. You
All
take one
right.
more step closer to him and you jump straight up. You maximize your height.
All right.
You know.
It's Vinny
So
is in the back. We're gonna play a short commercial here, and then come back with Lee Greenwood singing "And I'm Proud to Be Italian." Where at least I know I'm not really Italian. I'm probably part Greek and Etruscan or Norman or Roman or something, Germania, something like that. That's
that,
what you're saying.
and one day I'll tell you about the time I almost lost in a boxing match to a woman.
Well, you're Andy Kaufman then. Come on. Come on. It's been done. Well, that was wrestling, but it's close enough. True Fire is.
I didn't lose. I almost lost. I didn't
Almost.
lose.
All right.
Almost.
And now
3
she's
rounds.
Mrs. G.D. Fenderson. She's a little knocked up, but when I say knocked up, I don't mean pregnant. I mean black eye.
You can take a punch. You got
she got a
to
black
marry
eye
someone
from a black guy.
That's
Black
right.
guy from a black guy. Anyway, True Fire, get yours. Find out and just become like a super shredder Michael Jordan of guitar with True Fire.
Over 2 million guitar players worldwide learn, practice, and play with TrueFire. Our learning tools and massive library of video lessons will ignite your technical skills, harmonic knowledge, rhythm playing, and soloing chops. TrueFire's educators are the best in the biz, from Grammy Award winners to world-renowned artists. You'll have access to an unparalleled faculty of over 300 top-notch blues, rock, jazz, country, fingerstyle, and acoustic guitar educators. Using our desktop and mobile apps, you'll work with TrueFire's multi-angle video lessons on any device, anytime, anywhere. Integrated learning tools such as video synced tab and notation, slow-mo, looping, practice jam tracks, and many more handy controls accelerate your learning experience. TrueFire style-specific learning paths guide you every step of the way. Use our assessment tools to find your starting point, then follow our lesson recommendations and track your progress as you work through your personalized TrueFire study plan. Progress faster with private one-on-one instruction, group lessons, multi-track video jams, live streams, song lessons, student forums, TrueFire's Riff magazine, premium jam tracks, and much, much more. With thousands of 5-star ratings and reviews from amateur and pro players alike, you'll find yourself in good company with the world's most comprehensive guitar learning platform. Grab your guitar and ignite your musicality. Sign up free for an all-access trial today.
Invite musicality. Vinny Vanilli is with us. Vinny is a Toronto-based comedian who is best known for being on the streets of New York and downtown Toronto, questioning people about what they know about their countries, USA and Canada. I believe he's got a special out called Proud to be Italian. He's here with us now. Welcome, Vinny Vanelli. Good morning, Vinny. Good to see you.
Ciao, Matteo. ¿Cómo stai?
I don't know. ¿Cómo está? I don't know. Meatball, paisan.
Do you speak Italian, buddy? Do you speak Italian?
No.
No. Okay. What about Henderson? Henderson, you speak Italian?
Not really.
Not really. Have you guys met
I can read it. I can read it better than I can speak it. But
okay, I can speak it better than I can read it. So
yeah. Now,
no, I've never met him.
Yeah, you guys haven't met, right?
No.
Well, you haven't.
See, now I'm insulted. Now I'm insulted because we performed together like 7 times, and you don't remember me. Well, I was actually playing under a different name. Maybe that's it, and a different skin color too. I was doing whiteface.
What's going on?
You were in whiteface.
I was in whiteface.
Okay.
They called it European white.
Now, where was that? Was that in? You just tell me. Where was it? Was it in Buffalo, New York?
No, it was Toronto. I was up in his neck of the woods.
Toronto.
That's what really offends me.
Toronto.
I went to get some fresh maple syrup.
Now,
and while I was there, I bumped into him in the market. We had like a great conversation. I thought we were engaged. We talked so long. And he says, "Hey, come on over, do a set with me." And I thought that was a sex thing, so that's why I went. Turns out it was just comedy. I was disappointed, but we had a few laughs.
All right.
I have no idea who this guy is. I have no idea what he's talking about right now.
Now, Vinny, straighten me out. Is Proud to be Italian a special that you have out, or is that just a show you do? Or talk to me.
Yeah, well, you know that I started doing actually on this show, a segment for you. Was it Stars, Stripes, and Maple Syrup? I did 2 sets. I did 2 segments. I did one in Times Square, one in Dundas Square here in Toronto. It was actually really fun. But as we were filming that, I asked my my videographer, I'm like, you know what I would really like to do? I would love to just talk to Italians about being Italian, because he's from England, and what does it mean to be Italian? I'm like, that's a good question. How about we go interview some people? So we took off, went to Little Italy, and started recording that. But you know what? It hasn't come out yet. I got a teaser I sent to you if you want to play that. But it's coming out Saturday night at 8:30.
How I think I can have the ability to let guests play it directly from their machine.
Okay.
I'm not sure how we do that.
I sent you the YouTube channel and the Google Drive.
I should have looked this up. I did not know that we were going to do this today. But if we can do that, I would love to let you do that. Let guests, guest viewer comments. I'll try to figure it out. But this is a show you've taped and it's ready to go. It's be published soon enough.
Yep. We finished the first episode, which is a pretty big chunk here, and we went to a few different places here in Toronto. Then I had a private event, a private gig in Calgary. Wonderful event, by the way, but it was an all Italian event, so 300 Italians. And here I am, 300 in Calgary. I didn't know there were 300 Italians in Calgary, but apparently we had this fun party. I did my set, and then afterwards I'm like, you know what? Let me just get a videographer over here. We did some more interviews while all these Italians were completely hammered, by the way, and there were some fun interviews. We're just going to keep that as a separate set, but I'm also coming to New York City, Montreal, Ottawa. I'm going to be doing this all around.
Now this is interesting. 300 Italians in Calgary.
Yeah,
sounds like a bad joke.
Yeah. Well, when they called me, I'm like, are you sure? Like, really? Like, you want me to do the Italian stuff? All right, sure, no problem.
Yeah, Joe Matarisi, is that, I don't even know how he pronounces his name, does a lot of Italian. I'm not that Italian, I believe is his most recent special. But a question, because last month we had Jim Witowski, I hope I'm saying his last name right, Witowski. He's got a Polish father, but his mother is Italian, his mother's heritage, and he wrote a historical novel. And he basically was enlightening me to things about Italy and what it means to be Italian that I never knew. Now, I know you kind of caught a glimpse of the preview of what I was going to do here, set you up. First of all, let's just say let people know that your day job for many years has been a teacher in school.
Yeah.
History?
No, we talked about this last time. I teach every single subject.
All right.
I teach 9 subjects, so I'm ready to go nuts right now. But then
you're an elementary school teacher?
Grade 8.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got you.
And so in Canada, they still have like teachers that do every subject all day long, which is
in the smaller schools. Yeah,
it's pretty interesting. Now, but the history is one of them, because when you were doing your stuff on the street with the Canadians and the Americans, you were basing stuff on a lot of political, geographical kind of questions and stuff like that. Did you know all the answers yourself, or did you know it from teaching, or did you look it up just for the segments?
Some from teaching, some I had to look up, like the whole thing about American Canadian Thanksgiving. I did a whole bit on that, So which days? I know it's like the last week of November. That's the American Thanksgiving, right? Whereas Canadian is actually, I think, the first weekend of October. So,
and one of the guys you got in New York was an Italian from Italy.
I got quite a few. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, did you learn anything from him about Italy in itself, or did he seem to really know? He didn't seem to know American stuff. I knew that we had a president, and he knew that Canada had a prime minister, but beyond that, he didn't seem to know anything about. Mm-hmm. Did he teach you anything about Italy's history?
If we're thinking of the same guy that I met at Times Square that one day, we're still friends. Actually, we talk quite often. He's actually a pretty big deal. He's actually the head of the Abruzzese Society, So
Right, in Montreal though, right? Not
yeah,
Toronto.
Montreal. Yeah, he was born in Montreal. Now actually lives in Ottawa. But yeah, he's everywhere.
Yeah. So Montreal is a very different culture than Toronto. Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
More French.
Montreal. Oui.
Do you speak French?
Tout le monde peut. Oui. Here in Canada, we have to learn French up until grade 9, right? And then
Okay.
then we have the option to say
Italy. You want to. I don't really have a test ready, but what you know about Italy? President, prime minister, dictator. What do they have?
a couple of each. No, they've got
all of the above.
They've got a president.
Okay. When was the last time they had a king?
Well, since the country's not that old, I don't know. Did they ever have a king?
Yeah, they had a king. The last king they had was only king for 36 days, but it was 1946.
Okay. How many people attended the last Bunga Bunga party?
Bunga Bunga? Isn't that like a surfing thing in California? That doesn't sound.
No, didn't the former president of Italy have Bunga Bunga parties?
I wouldn't put it past them. Yeah. They take it easy in Italy in terms of politics. They're not too.
Seriously though, what does it mean to be Italian? Because I generally grew up this. If you were Italian, you were Italian. Northern, they talked about Calabrese, they talk about Napolitans, talk about Sicilians, all that, but they're really not the same people. And
no.
So what does it mean to be Italian to you? Are all those people even related in any way? Because they don't seem to be.
Well, no. See, when we started doing this show, first of all, there's a couple of things I noticed. One, we went to the first Little Italy because we got 2 in Toronto, and there were no Italians, which blew my mind because it had changed so much that there really were no Italians. We had to go to another place, another Little Italy, very few Italians. Then we ended up going to a place called Woodbridge. This was over a series of a month, which is kind of like our Brooklyn, I guess, if you want to call it that. And that's where we got the majority of our interviews. It seems like all the Italians have migrated, northwest. We migrate like a herd of water buffalo. I don't know. We just seem to go one direction. All of us. Let's go, all of us together. But yeah, I asked that question, and a lot of people said the same things. There was a lot of it's about family. I got a lot of that family. I got a lot of food. People kept talking about food. One guy said soccer. I don't really understand that one, but I would always ask him, like, okay, what does it mean to be Italian? Like we are 7,000 kilometers. I don't know how many miles that is, but we're 7,000 kilometers away from the heart of Rome. But still, there's something in us. You know what I mean? Like there's something where we're Italian. I'm Italian. I don't consider myself Canadian. I consider myself an Italian Canadian.
Right.
That's how I grew up in a very traditional household. Like many kids. I grew up in the basement. We ziplocked the couch. This is what we did. Right? I'm addicted to tomato sauce. Is that what it means to be Italian? No. A lot of people kept saying the same things. It's about family. It's about getting together. It's a way of life. And I think that's actually where we settled on. That's what it was. It's the traditions that keep us together, that make us the same but different.
Were you in an Italian, like were there Italians? Was an Italian neighborhood? It's kind of weird to say. No,
we were the only Italians in the neighborhood.
That's weird. That's weird. 'Cause where I grew up, it is definitely a communal thing. Like I grew up in a place called the American Venice, and it's all canals. And there were people who came from New York, one of the 5 boroughs, or all of them came from one of the 5 boroughs. But the thing that brought them there was some lineage back to what was Italia, the region the Romans called Italia, which became Italy. Even as late as 1870, I think it was when it formally became known as Italy. But all those people had a lineage back to that. But they include Sicily, Palermo. Now those are island nations that really weren't connected to Italy. But I think the culture is very different from, let's say, from Sicily to northern Italy.
Oh, yeah.
That we talk to now. So there weren't a lot of cultural similarities in that, but I noticed you already said tomato sauce. Now, in where I grew up, you could start an argument over sauce versus gravy.
Oh,
Did you get any of that?
no, I didn't get. That's an American thing. I'll tell you right now. When I first, like I go to America all the time, and I'll tell you, you guys always call it gravy, and it drives me nuts. I'm sorry, people.
I always called it sauce. Yeah.
It's sauce. It's tomato sauce. It's the sauce. Okay, that's what it is. Salsa,
Right.
not gravy.
I have a question for you. The derogatory terms for Italians in America, are they the same in Canada?
What are
Well,
those
there's more
terms?
than one.
What are those terms?
You got
WAP, Dago. I don't know if I should say them, but go ahead.
Yeah,
You're
you
the
can.
expert, man.
I'm
Okay,
allowed to
yo.
say them. I got
Go ahead.
a Italian privilege card or something like that. You got
Go ahead.
Wapago, you got Guinea, you got grease ball. That's about it, really, that I can think of.
Yeah, those are the only four I can think of.
The WAP one, yes. The other three, no.
Really?
No.
Because WAP came from without papers.
Yeah, without papers. Yeah.
Right. And y'all have an Ellis. Did that migrate north, or did y'all have like the equivalent of an Ellis Island and that procedure? Because that's weird to me.
Well, originally, the biggest waves came in the 50s and 60s, and they came in from Halifax, Pier 21. And the Torontos all came. A lot of people came to Toronto, a lot of those Italians, and that's why there's two little Italys. And outside of Italy, Toronto has the most Italians in the world. I don't know if you know that, but what ended up happening is over the years they seem to have migrated north. So now it's like Woodbridge, which is like our Brooklyn. That's where the majority of Italians are in Southern Ontario. There are also other little pockets like Sault Ste. Marie. If you go to Quebec, Montreal has a ton of Italians. Like it's insane how many Italians are in Montreal. But that's pretty much those are the meccas of Italians.
Becky, isn't there one that's a stinging flying bug? If she's saying wasp, no, wasp is white Anglo-Saxon Protestant.
That's my wife. My wife is a wasp. Yeah.
Yeah. A WAP is different than WASP. WAP came from without papers. Now is being Italian in Canada. The people normally assume you're mob related, like they would if you were in Brooklyn and you were Italian. People would think, well, you must be mobbed up or have some relative who's in the mob. Do they equate being Italian with mafia in Canada?
You know what's interesting? Once I left in Toronto, like it's just normal to be Italian. But now I live an hour outside of the city, and I remember when I was supply teaching. I would go in front of a class. It's an all-white community here. The first question I got, are you in the mafia? And they said it in such an innocent way. And I would keep getting that week after week. And I'm like, no, if I was in the mafia, would I really be supply teaching in a grade 4 class? No, I'm not in the mafia. I'd have to explain this to the children and how that's just a stereotype.
Right. Is the Godfather like revered? Like my people, the Long Island Italians, and who grew up in very Italian neighborhoods. The mafia is, the Godfather is almost like reading the Bible, watching. I mean, it's that it's got that much significance in the Italian communities up there. Does it have the same impact?
Yeah, I love that movie. At least the first two. I love Goodfellas. I love all the mob movies. A lot of people, like one of the first bits I say as soon as I introduce myself to an audience is, I know what you're thinking, and no, I've never been on The Sopranos. That's one of the first things they always think about me. Or you're probably thinking that guy from Jersey Shore really let himself go. Because that's what we're known by, right? Is New Jersey Italians and stuff like that. But that's like a subculture within, being Italian, if you want to call it.
Oh, Guidos. I forgot about Guidos. We get called Guidos a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, there are tons of restaurants down here in the Maryland area called Guidos. He's like, you can't swing a dead cat without hitting a Guidos.
Right. Now, Vinny, both your parents Italian?
Yes.
Quote?
They're both from Italy. Yeah.
They both you're a second generation Canadian.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. I think I'm third generation. Yeah, third generation.
I have a question now that because you mentioned Guidos, but is that a derogatory term? Because
it can be
seen restaurant.
Yes.
There's tons of restaurants in the area around here where I am called Guidos. Right. But the other four derogatory terms, there are no restaurants using any
No,
of
you
those
wouldn't have
four names.
like
That'd be kind of
Wops,
cool, you know.
Wops Restaurante.
Right.
Wop's restaurant, and then after
Yeah.
I don't know, they
Dago's Pizza. No, there might be a
Right.
Dago's Pizza somewhere. I come
But
figure.
they will probably spell it differently and have like a little truck so you can see that the pizza is to go.
Right.
But
Now coming back to your parents, Vinny, did your father cook? Was your father like
Yeah.
a sauce maker, like
towards
big
the
in
end
the
of
yeah?
towards the end of his life, he actually started up a restaurant. It was it was an Italian hot table, so he sold veals and pasta dishes and stuff like that. He was actually doing quite well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a mustache?
Never had a mustache. No.
Well, I
want to buy
just learned
one?
today. Yeah, I could get you one pretty cheap on the black market.
It fell off the truck. It fell off the back of a truck.
Oh, jeez.
But I just found out today it signifies low social standing, so I might have to get rid of it and
Oh, really?
just go really like.
Well, not in every culture. Not in every culture.
No, I don't think so.
Like there's some cultures where if a woman is of a good size, that's a good thing, and then the same thing in another culture is a bad thing. So
I thought you were going to say if a
you just
woman
have
has
to-
a mustache, that's a good thing, and in some cultures,
that too. Now there are some cultures where a woman having a little facial hair is a good thing.
well,
I need
I
maybe
learned
I need
that
to let
by
the
accident.
mole freak flag fly though, and just be a man of high social standing with my big old mole. Did your father pass on the cooking gift to you? Are you the cook? You make
oh,
sauce?
yeah. I do all that stuff. I love to cook. Never seem to have time for it, but I love to cook.
Is
My
it every
wife-
Sunday? You
Oh,
make
every
sauce?
Sunday we have to go to my mother's house, though, right? My mother's still alive. We go there every Sunday. We get the jars of tomato sauce. We get about 4 bags of food that we got to bring home. All the Italian dishes. I don't know, like minestrone. We'll get some soup, some pizza. I got it, but I need my 2 jars of sauce. Even when I go on the road, I got to bring the sauce. I can't.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I'm serious. I can't live without the sauce.
Wow. Now you have kids, right?
I got 3. Yeah.
Are they following in the? Do they wear the Italian pride the same way that you do?
Yeah. Well, my wife's an Anglo Protestant from Iowa, but my kids, they go to Italian school every weekend, and just their names alone, I think will tell you everything. Their names are Francesco, Gianluca, and Ilaria, or as the teachers here call them, Frank, John, and Hillary. But
So how did you meet your wife? And did you meet her in Iowa, or did you import her from the U.S. to Canada?
no, my best friend was going to. My best friend's girlfriend was going to university. She was roommates with her, so she was doing university here in Canada, and so that's how we met. And now she lives here with me, and we visit America quite often. Very often.
Now, this is how many do you have pizza shops on every corner? And is it a prideful thing up there in Long Island? There, especially on the South Shore, we brag about Long Island pizza, Brooklyn pizza, that it's the best in the world and all that stuff. Carl came here from England and was in New York City, and I got to get some New York pizza, and he got the worst pizza 2 days in a row, and I was kind of humiliated by it. I went with him one day, and we were in Manhattan, and just it wasn't Italian. It was like a black guy and an Asian guy behind the counters. Like, this is not a real pizza place.
Hey.
In Canada, what's the pizza culture?
Well, we take it pretty seriously, especially if you like the authentic style pizza. It's the very, very thin crust.
Yeah.
Almost a little bit burnt, right?
Yeah.
You just put I like margherita, so you just put some tomato sauce and bocconcini on there, and that's it. Maybe some mozzarella di bufala, and that's it. Just keep it simple. Oregano, basil, that's it.
Sicilian pizza at all?
No, not really.
Do you know what the
many
difference
Sicilians
between Sicilian and grandma is? Because it's a difficult thing for me. Because especially up here where it's not I'm on the North Shore of Long Island, which is it's really white America up here. And if I go into the local pizza shop, there will be Sicilian and Grandma right next to each other, and they both look the same. Now, Sicilian, when on the South Shore, I definitely know what that is. It's not like over cheese and all that kind of stuff. It's got that very sweet kind of sauce on it. But up here, you can't tell the difference. Can you tell the difference between Grandma pizza and Sicilian pizza where you are?
I'm not sure if I've ever had Sicilian pizza, and I'm not sure what you mean when you say grandma pizza.
Well, Grandma pizza looks like Sicilian pizza. Sicilian pizza generally comes in a square pie,
Okay.
and it's really thick.
Yeah.
And
Okay. That's why my mother makes it. Yeah.
yeah, but on the South Shore, you would definitely know the difference between Grandma and because Grandma is more like an alla vodka type of sauce and lots more cheese on it, heavily with the mozzarella and all that kind of stuff. Sicilian is a much darker red sauce, but very sweet and not as much cheese. And you can see the difference before you even.
I'm coming.
Now, I have to call you out on something, Benny. I'm sorry. I'm listening to you speak, and for the most part, when you speak, I can barely tell that you're Italian. Okay, but then you say certain words and you go all Alex Trebek on us. Like Alex Trebek, when he did Jeopardy, he would talk very normal, and then he'd come to a word, he'd go like mozzarella, and all of a sudden, and then he'd go back to talking normal. You just did that to us. You're like talking normal. They're like mozzarella, parmigiana, and then you go back to normal. It's like, is there like an Italian code that says when you come to food, you have to say it like that? I'm just wondering, because I've seen it. I see it a lot. I mean, and I'm sure you noticed it as a comedian. I'm sure you've noticed it. I just want to know why now.
I think Matt mentioned that the first interview we did, and it's true. Because once I start speaking like that, even he was saying, you sound like somebody from New York or something, right? But then afterwards, I've had to learn to assimilate into my society here, so I speak like this. But when I get excited, I'm me. Like when I start talking about food, I get excited. I'll talk about scallopini, he was talking about alla vodka sauce. I get excited. I start talking a little more like this. But when I'm around other people here in this community, I learn to speak like this.
I had a friend of mine I was talking to on the phone, and he was listening to me, and he said something that I got angry about. And he goes, oh, there's the blackness. Because apparently I don't sound black ordinarily, but once I got angry about something, he goes like, oh, there it is. I hear it now.
Yeah. That's the way I am too. Yeah. Because your true colors come out. You don't think about how you have to filter anything. You're just yourself, right? When you get excited, when you get passionate, when you get angry.
Now, you said your parents are direct immigrants from Italy. Have you been?
All the time, yeah.
All the time?
Well, I used before COVID. Yeah.
Really?
One of the conditions of my marriage to my wife was we have to go there at least once every 2 years.
What parts do you visit?
I'm from Calabria, the toe, but I prefer Florence. I love the north, except they don't understand me when I speak Calabrese, right? They don't understand me when I speak like that in the north.
Right.
It's like a completely different language.
When Jim Witowski, who is half Polish, half Italian, was on, I was talking about Northern Italian is not so different from Polish because they are basically, it's like New York and New Jersey in some places. They're that close. And he was adamant that no, they're really not similar at all. It's like, how could that be? I mean, really, to be honest with you, and I hate to admit this, there are parts of Jersey in New York that you can't tell if somebody's from New Jersey or New York. They're that close together, and the speech patterns are the same, the mannerism, the culture.
What about the smell? Is the smell the same? Because I've been to Jersey. Wow. Because okay.
So what is your take on that? Northern Italian and Polish, are there similarities in your view?
I don't know about Polish, but I can tell you in the north they're tall. Whereas like I'm only 5'7", right? I have this one joke where I talk about when God was creating my people, it's like he started in the north, everyone's tall there, and about halfway down he gave up. I don't know. It's like he got to the point where he's like, you know what? I'm in a hurry. I'm going to make everyone shorter than everyone else. If they want to feel big, they can drink their coffee out of tiny cups. I think by the time he got to the toe where I'm from, he just started cutting corners, and he was like, screw it, no necks. I don't know.
when you were doing your man on the street thing, a big part of what you were doing was trying to get people to sing the anthems. First of all, singing a big part of your culture growing up.
No.
No.
If I were to sing, my father would smack me in the back of the head. What are you doing? You crazy? You think you're Frank Sinatra?
Wow. In Brooklyn, everybody thinks they're Caruso.
Really?
Well, yeah, that's a big part of it is, the opera played a big, and a lot of pride because Italian Americans they feel slighted on their heroes. So they made a hero out of Columbus, and they're really really protective of Columbus Day, even though Columbus was a schmuck. But the town I lived in was originally called Copeg, an Indian name, but Marconi passed through there once, and this guy he passed through there on a train ride, and they named the town Marconiville. An Italian American, John Campagnola, was really prideful about his Italian heritage and wanted to have something to boast about, and named the town Marconiville. And they were really proud. So they really love heroes, Italian heroes, and I don't mean sandwiches. Pat Cooper, our Italian hero, not that kind of hero. But they left to boost these people up. And Caruso was in the early 19th century when people started coming out from New York City to Long Island. He was the biggest hero going. So everybody thought they were an opera singer. Now, that doesn't mean they were great singers, but they were very fond of it. And we have still a lot of that in our culture. So I'm surprised that your father was not even accepting of that at all.
No.
But
No.
the Italian, because you going back to your man on the street stuff, getting people to sing the anthems. Do you have any idea what the Italian national anthem might be?
Oh, of course. I mean, every World Cup or a Euro, I mean, we stand up and we listen to it. I mean, I would never go for. Well, first of all, Canada was barely ever in the World Cup, except for this year. But whenever the World Cup would come on, my entire family, we would all get together in front of the TV and we would watch it. And every little tiny play, we'd have heart attacks. I mean, when they won back in 2006 on St. Clair, there was over 1 million people in like a 4-block radius, and we just went nuts. We took over the streetcars. It was insane.
Wow.
So, yeah. I mean, we're really big on the Italian culture here. And I know New York too, when I went last summer.
Okay, then here's one for you: Sacco and Vanzetti, framed or very framed?
Say it again. What?
Sacco and Vanzetti, framed or very framed? They were executed for murder back in the 30s, I think.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
No.
That's Italian history, my man. I have to look it up now. The spellings.
That's the Italian history you want to talk about.
But that is American, Italian American. It's not really Italian. And again, we're trying to figure out what Italian means. But you got people to sing the anthems in America and Canada, or tried to sing, but you were singing with them and trying to sing both at the same time.
Yeah,
it's just interesting. Now, World Cup. Is it one team that represented? Because in England, I think there are like, I don't know, regional teams, right? Manchester and London. I don't know if London, but different areas. When in the World Cup, is it one team that represents all of Italy, or?
Yeah.
Even
in the World Cup, England gets represented by one team as well. What you're talking about is the English Premiership. We watched the Serie A in Italy, so Napoli has a team. Juventus, which is in Torino, has a team.
You call it soccer or football?
I call it soccer. I don't know. I know Europeans get upset when you say that, but I call it soccer.
Okay.
For me, football is football. I don't know.
Yeah, so they do get upset when you call it that, but I get upset when they call it football because I know what football is. That's an interesting distinction there. We get really hung up about this whole. Marconi or Tesla invented radio. Who?
Let's go with Tesla because I like the car.
I would have to agree. I'll get a lot of flack from that, especially from the Marconiville people who want to say that. I think Marconi was more like an Edison guy. He took other people's ideas and patented them. Pasta, when was it invented?
Well, didn't the Chinese invent it?
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, at least they invented spaghetti. Yeah, they did.
They invented noodles,
Chinese did.
and
They
we
invented
took
noodles.
the tomatoes from the Mexicans.
According to what I'm reading here, was first pasta dishes were first created in Italy.
Okay,
but that could be, I know.
Well, that's the dish. That's
noodles,
the dish.
yeah.
Yeah,
Not
noodles
the-
were
not the
invented by the
dish. No,
Chinese.
the new egg noodles and stuff like that. Noodles that were made from eggs and stuff like that were invented in Asia. But according to this, the stuff that we know as pasta is first created in Italy in the 4th
So
century
you steal
BC.
the recipe, change the name, and so you just we're getting
Yeah,
new patent.
you can tell
that's
the
how we do
difference.
things. Shh, don't.
You can tell the difference between Asian noodles and
Yeah.
what we call Italian
Well,
pasta.
They're flat, broad noodles, just like fettuccine in Asia as well. Or I've seen them in China, and there's lo mein, which is very similar to other things. Whatever.
You a coffee drinker? I noticed the red cup before. That was obviously Mind Dog going out of business coffee. But espresso or coffee?
Both. I start off with an espresso in the morning. I make it with a little macchinetta. The it's called the kettle. The steel kettle. I make it that way. I pour it out, and then afterwards, a couple hours later, I make a cappuccino.
Can you tell me what the real difference is? Because I have lots of espresso that somebody sent to me. I can't tell the difference.
You can't tell the difference. What kind of espresso are you drinking?
I make